Welcome back, vinyl community. Vinyl update time. Some recent pickups and spins, a few things I've had kicking around for a while, haven't gotten to show on video. Bringing us in, some dub from the 1990s. Found this in the dollar bin in a record store recently. This is Twilight Circus, 12-inch single. Twilight Circus, aka Twilight Circus dub sound system. It's a project of Ryan Moore, who was a member of the legendary Pink Dots, then went solo to do his own dub and reggae productions, initially heavily influenced by the UK steppers scene. A couple of the tracks from this 12-inch are actually on an LP I have, called Bin Shaker Dub, Twilight Circus dub sound system. This includes Lowell and 9 and UK Steppers, which is on this 12-inch that's playing. You can tell the influences. Also got Shaka, named after the great UK sound man Josh Shaka. Ryan Moore did quite a bit of dub. Started off very dub focused, eventually expanded into some vocal work. Did an album with Michael Rose of Black Uhuru, worked with Big Youth, and other fairly big name vocalists. He used to be quite active on the Blood and Fire message board. I had some interactions with him. I think he's originally from the Vancouver, Canada area, my area. And he kind of dropped off the radar. I think he got kind of fed up with the state of business in the music marketplace. And that is a nice 12-inch single EP with 4 tracks on pink vinyl. Somebody went to town with some glitter on the label there. I don't know if that's him doing that. Also a bit on the cover. You can see that. Ryan Moore, Twilight Circus. Popped into, there's a local HMV type store in my local area at the mall. Mainly new vinyl and CDs. They have their little section of used records. Don't usually see too much of interest in there. The other day I just happened to be there, popped in for a look, spotted this sleeve in the bins. I knew it was Reggae, classic VP Records Disco 45 sleeve. This is from Gussie Clarke's Music Works label from 1988. Very iconic label of the time. Try to get that in focus. Music Works. Gussie Clarke was a producer who started in the 1970s, but the late 80s was kind of his heyday. He was very successful with a number of artists. And this one has singers Coco T and Nadine Sutherland doing a cover of Elvis's It's Now or Never with the extended mix version on the flip. Coco T, very prolific singer. He had started in the 1980s. By the early 1990s, he was really firing on all cylinders, linking up with Fatis Burrell's Exterminator label, putting out many excellent albums and singles. I was listening to some of those at the time. This one's okay. Not Gussie Clarke's best production, but he was very, very prolific and successful at that time. Maybe one of the chief rivals to King Jammy for dominance in the late 80s kind of digital reggae era. And Nadine Sutherland, incidentally, I used to listen to her uncle on the radio. He was a radio DJ on one of the local shows, reggae shows I used to listen to years ago. Louis Sutherland. Used to mention her often. Found this one in the used bins at a record store a while back. Haven't gotten around to showing it yet. Gal Costa, India. This is the Mr. Bongo reissue. This is her 4th album, originally came out in the early 1970s in Brazil. Controversial cover, which was censored by the military government at the time. She was still quite involved in the Tropicalia movement at the time, but starting to branch off from there into MPB, or the popular music of Brazil, and other influences. Very excellent pressing from Mr. Bongo. Also found this in a local record shop pretty recently, Fotheringay. This was basically focused on Sandy Denny, moving on from Fairport Convention. They only released 1 album. It's on the A&M label. UK Folk. Don't see very much. Fairport Convention, basically never in my area. anything Sandy Denny or Fotheringay. Actually, I found the sleeve in a thrift store once, but it had no record inside, so snatched that up when I saw it. Another one I found in the used bins. This is a Vinyl Me Please exclusive, Main Source, Breaking Atoms. This is from 1991, classic hip-hop album. I was listening to hip-hop at the time. I'd never heard of this album until a few years ago. This is kind of a neat pressing on translucent clear vinyl, and also includes a bonus 7-inch single. It's got a booklet in here. Very cool. Golden Age hip-hop, kind of a cross production between Toronto area and New York City DJs, producers, rappers. A friend of mine called this one of the greatest, or if not the greatest, hip-hop album of all time. Not sure I would rate it that high. I probably need to spend a bit more time with this. It's got lots of samples. It's in that sample-rich Golden Age hip-hop sound I like quite a bit, but I'm not sure I would put it quite that high yet. Got to spend some more time with that one. Walked into one of my local stores, actually, where I found some used reggae. It was showing in a previous video, and they had a sale on. All their vinyl was basically 20% off or something like that. So I put up the brand new one from Lee Scratch Perry, Rainford. This is him working again with Adrian Sherwood of On You Sound. The two have a long-standing relationship, and actually I found their very first collaboration at the same store at the same time. Time Boom X The Devil Dead, Lee Scratch Perry with Dub Syndicate, produced by Adrian Sherwood on the Syncopate label from 1987. This has been called the greatest post-Black Ark era Lee Perry album, at least until his recent career resurgence, when he's put out a number of critically acclaimed albums. So that one was 1987, was their first collaboration together. This one is them in 2019, again working together, long-standing relationship. Adrian Sherwood, his productions tend to gravitate into kind of left field experimentism, some industrial influences, but I found the rhythm tracks on here fairly straightforward, dubby reggae, and then Lee Perry's kind of stream of consciousness vocals over top. He's got one, the last track is called Autobiography of the Upsetter, where he kind of goes on about his, he gives his own side of his life story. So, well into his 80s now, I think. Lee Scratch Perry, still putting out critically acclaimed albums. Same store, I'd kind of been eyeing this one for a while. I picked up quite a few other reggae albums, used reggae albums there. This one was priced a bit higher at 50 bucks. I'd been listening to it on CD, kind of thinking to myself, is this a $50 album or not? With the sale and the discount, it ended up being worth it to grab it. It is the Viceroys, Brethren and Sistren. This is from 1983 on CSA Records. The Viceroys are a Jamaican harmony group, also known as the Interns and various other names. I did a spotlight video on them quite a while back when lead singer Wesley Tinglin passed away. This is the second of a couple of albums they did, produced by Linval Thompson, very great producer at the time, backed by the Roots Radix Band, which was the top flight session band of the time. Maybe not quite an immediate grabber, but I find this is one of those records that kind of pays off with repeated listens and kind of grows on you. A fairly contemplative mood to it. Brethren and Sistren, these guys have serious topics on their mind, with the title track, Ain't Nobody Love Nobody, Please Stop Them, which is decrying urban violence, United Nations, and of course they have to update their classic song Yahoo, originally recorded late 60s, early 70s-ish. Another used find picked up online. This is Freddie McGregor. This is an album I'd been after for a while. Freddie McGregor, great long-standing reggae singer. This is an early 80s album produced by 90 The Observer. It's appeared under a number of titles, variations of this title, Mr. McGregor and other names. This is on the 56 Hope Road pressing. produced by 90 The Observer. Very rootsy sound on here. Freddie's kind of one of those singers, he's very equally balanced, whether he can do lover's rock or love songs, and he can also do the more heavier roots material, which is what he gravitates to on this album, with We Got Love, Jack Can Count on I, written by Earl Lowe, aka Earl Zero, Zion Chant, Rastaman Camp. Great album from Freddie McGregor. And last up for today, a brand new reissue from the Pressure Sounds label. I also did a spotlight video on the Pressure Sounds label a while back. They're still putting out the good stuff. This is Pressure Sounds 103rd full-length release. It's a reissue of an early Yabby U album called Walls of Jerusalem. It's also been reissued as Yabby U meets King Tubby, and that is because side 1 is vocals by Yabby U, side 2 is the dubs from King Tubby's, and this Pressure Sounds edition is also expanded with unreleased tracks and studio outtakes. You can even hear some studio dialogue in there. A fantastic reissue from Pressure Sounds. Nicely done, as always. So that's what I've got for you today, guys. Check out my Facebook, my Instagram for more info on some of these records where I can go into a bit more detail. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope everybody's been having a good summer. Hopefully it's still summer by the time I get to uploading this. I've been up to Alaska for a little holiday. First time on a cruise. You may have seen the little video I put up. Just been doing lots of yard work today in the last couple of days, trying to get the yard cleaned up. The usual kind of summer activities. So, take care, everybody. Peace.